Everyone, what's up? It's me again, Junkmaster 3, and today it's time for not another, but it's a top 5 of the month video. And in the previous video, you saw all the films that I've watched during the horrorthon of this month, and yeah, some of those made it into the top 5 of the month list. So I'm excluding movies that I've already seen before during that month, like Night of the Demons and Brain Scan and all of those other pretty much films that I've rewatched thousands of times before. So I just decided to. So these are only films that I've watched for the first time and that I enjoyed the most during this horrorthon. So yeah, let's begin right away. At number 5, we have the original Pit and the Pendulum. Sorry for the glare, like always. This is the original one with Vincent Price. And I actually made a mistake of watching the remake before I watched the original one. And you should never do that, but I had no idea that the remake was a remake when I watched that. And I would say both films are really good. I mean, the remake had much more violence and gore, if I remember correctly, so that was really good. And this one had Vincent Price going for it, and Vincent Price is always really, really good. And this is more eerie in a way and more atmospheric than the remake, but the remake has better gore and blood effects. Yeah, I think it depends on what you like, but I really like this one as well. I mean, I would say it's very hard for me to pick one favorite out of the two. I'm probably gonna pick this one which I prefer a little bit more over the remake, even though the remake is really good. And another thing is that the remake of Full Moon is like a full moon film, and I'm not a big fan of Full Moon in general, but that's probably their best effort in my opinion, well, at least from those that I've seen. So yeah, well, enough about that. The Pit and the Pendulum at number 5, and now I can already see people well, why the hell did you put these films before that one? But I mean, that's sometimes how it goes, and this is just my personal opinion. So yeah. And at number 4, we have Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. This is an old Anchor Bay release. Not too sure if this is cut or not, but I think this is supposed to be fully uncut. And once again, very atmospheric and cool film. I mean, it starts off really scary and spooky, and I would say somewhere in the mid part of the film it sort of drags along a bit. I mean, it gets a little bit, I wouldn't say boring and not dull, but it feels like they could have shortened that bit down a little bit. But the ending just is phenomenal, and I think this is a really, really underrated zombie film in general. And this came out in the early 70s, and it's directed by, Bob Clark, I believe. So, and yeah, Bob Clark is probably most known for Black Christmas and Porky's and A Christmas Story, I believe. So, was that Bob Clark? Yeah, I think it was. Well, anyway, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. This was really entertaining, and yeah, I think more people should see it. So yeah, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things from 72, I believe. And then number 3 is an anthology film, which I really, really liked, and I'm probably one of those people that really needs to rewatch Creepshow, the first Creepshow, because I remember that one. I didn't care that much for that one, and I'm probably gonna get a whole lot of hate for that, but that was probably one of my first anthology films, and I didn't really know what an anthology film was. So it was like, well, what is this? Yeah, but this is a film called Nightmares. My favorite story in this anthology is definitely The Bishop of Battle, which has Emilio Estevez in it. He's like a video game freak or video game nerd. He's very well known, and he's basically the best at all of these video games, but there's one of these arcade games which he can't beat, and that's called The Bishop of Battle. I don't want to spoil anything about it if you haven't seen this one. The first one felt very typical. Terry in Topanga, a chain-smoking homemaker oh damn, stupid idiots on the outside, insists on, now it's completely lost track because of those fucking assholes, but well, anyway. The Benediction with Lance Henriksen was probably the weakest out of all the ones, and Night of the Rat was alright, but I think the Benediction is probably the weakest because it felt like that really didn't have that whole lot of plot to begin with. So But overall, all of these stories are really entertaining. I don't say that the Benediction is any like bad or anything. I just think it was the weakest out of the 4 stories in this. So yeah. But anyway, Nightmare is really entertaining. If you like anthology films, check this one out. Really good in my opinion. Then at number 2 is a film I'm not gonna. Yeah, I have to do something like that because otherwise I'm probably gonna get flagged. Yeah. Della Morte, Della More, also known as Cemetery Man. I actually have the Anchor Bay release as well because I'm not sure if this is cut or not. That's how it goes sometimes when you don't really know if it's cut or not. But very like once again a very special type of zombie film. It's like no other zombie film. I mean, if that makes any sense, it's its own film, so to say, and the acting is really good from what's his name? Okay, it doesn't say anywhere. Rupert, what's his name? Rupert Everett. I can never pronounce his name, but now I'm just doing like this just because I don't want to show you the tits on the front cover. But this was also, yeah, like I mentioned, this is also known as Cemetery Man. And yeah, once again, this is a film this feels like it's filmed in the 80s, but it's actually made in the 90s, which is really weird. And definitely one of the better 90s horror films in general, I would say. So yeah, Della Morte, Della More, really good film. And then this one, which actually just, I wouldn't say blew my mind, but I just didn't expect that I would like this movie so as much as I did. But yeah, this was really entertaining, and if I remember correctly, I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one. I mean, the first one is good, but I just think I didn't really get the whole thing with why people think it's so good, except for that head exploding scene, which is really famous, like one of the best like head exploding scenes in cinema history. And you probably already know what film I'm talking about. I'm talking about Scanners, but this is the sequel called Scanners 2, the New Order. I really like the plot and the storyline in this, about this outsider basically, which he knows that it's something special about him because he can sort of like control other people with his mind and stuff like that. I mean, it still has some like connections to the first film. I'm not going to spoil that, but I think the acting is really good, and I mean the storyline just really surprised me because I really liked it, and the soundtrack was really good as well. I actually think now, I mean, I haven't seen the first one in ages, so I really need to probably rewatch that. But at the moment, I would say this is better than the first one, and I can already see people, oh my god, you're a stupid idiot. But yeah, like I said before, it's just my opinion, and once again, the first one I haven't seen in quite a while. So if I rewatch the original again, I might still like enjoy that one more than this one. But yeah, and apparently the director of this also made the third one, which I've heard is supposed to be really bad. And yeah, I'm gonna check that one out sooner or later because I have it in my collection. So yeah, but anyway, Scanners 2, The New Order at number 1. I really enjoyed this sequel. So yeah. So that was the top 5 of the month for the month of October, basically during the horrorthon. And I know for sure that I should have made this video like earlier, but I've been like really tired lately, and yeah, I don't really know. I've been having other things on my mind, so to say. So yeah, but and once again, I'm really sorry that I didn't upload any like horror review video during the horrorthon either, because I mean, when you're watching so many films, you get a little bit tired and you don't have the energy to record more like horror reviews. But I'm probably trying to get to that during this month or next month, and also continue with the top 10 list of the 80s like horror films from each year, which I like the most. And yeah, you already know that. So that's also in development. In development hell. Well, anyway, now I've been mumbling here for more than almost 9 minutes now, or like 10 minutes. So yeah, hope everyone enjoyed and didn't get bored, and I hope to see you again as soon as possible. So see you next time. Bye bye.